My phone buzzed on the kitchen counter at 7:14 a.m., the screen lighting up with her name, Claire, and the second I saw the hospital emoji she always tacked onto urgent messages, my stomach dropped straight through the floorboards. "They're discharging me," the text read. "Pick me up at the main entrance in 20?" I was already grabbing my keys, heart hammering with the same panic that had gripped me when she'd collapsed in our hallway 3 nights earlier. Clutching her side, face ghost white, whispering my name like it was the last word she'd ever say. I'd ridden in the ambulance, held her hand while they pumped fluids into her veins, slept upright in a plastic chair that smelled of bleach and despair, and when the doctor finally said, "Diverticulitis, not cancer, she'll be fine," I'd kissed her forehead so hard I left a bruise shaped like relief. So when she said she was coming home, I believed her the way I believed the sun would rise, completely, stupidly, without question. I pulled up to the hospital curb at 7:31, hazards blinking, scanning every glass door for her familiar silhouette, the one I'd memorized over 12 years of marriage, the slight sway in her hips when she walked, the way she tucked her dark hair behind her left ear even when it didn't need tucking. Nurses wheeled patients past. A janitor mopped in slow circles. "No, Claire." I texted. "Here." Then, "Everything okay?" The 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. Finally, "Change of plans. Sarah's picking me up. Need girl time. Home by lunch. Love you. Sarah." Her best friend since college, the one who'd been texting Claire nonstop since the hospital stay, sending memes about 4 drips and bad cafeteria jello. I stared at the message until the words blurred. Something felt off, like a chord struck wrong in a song I knew by heart. I almost drove away. Almost. Instead, I opened the app we'd installed 2 years ago after her car was stolen. Find My Family, a little blue. That was supposed to keep us safe. Hers blinked in the hospital parking lot. Then it moved. Not toward Sarah's apartment in Brookside. Not toward our house in Maple Ridge. It slid west, past the city limits, toward the lake houses nobody we knew could afford. I followed it. I don't know why. Maybe because the night she collapsed she'd looked at me with eyes so wide and scared I promised her the world, and promises feel heavier when they're new. Maybe because I'd spent 3 days watching her sleep, counting her breaths like rosary beads, and the thought that she might be lying now felt like a betrayal of every second I'd sat vigil. The dot crawled along County Road 9, past the cornfields already turning gold, past the gas station where we'd bought cheap coffee on our first road trip. My hand shook on the wheel. I called her. Voicemail. Texted. "Where are you?" The dot stopped at 1847 Lakeshore Drive. An address I didn't recognize until I pulled into the gravel driveway and saw the black Jeep I'd helped him pick out last Christmas. Mark. My college roommate. The best man at our wedding who'd toasted to a love that would outlast us all. His Jeep, her one house. I sat in my car for a full minute, engine ticking as it cooled, watching the front door like it might open and explain everything away. It didn't. I walked up the steps, each one creaking like a confession. Through the sidelight window I saw them. Claire on the couch, hospital bracelet still on her wrist, head thrown back laughing at something Mark said. His hand resting on her knee the way mine used to before life got busy and kids got older and we forgot how to touch without purpose. She looked healthy. Radiant even. Not like someone who'd been discharged an hour ago with strict orders to rest. I raised my fist to knock, then lowered it. What would I say? Surprise, I tracked you like a stalker because I love you too much to let you lie to me? Instead I took a photo, time-stamped, GPS-stamped, heartbreak-stamped, and drove away before the tears hit the steering wheel. The drive home blurred. I kept replaying the last 3 days in the hospital. The way she'd squeezed my hand when the pain meds kicked in, the way she'd whispered, "You're my rock," while the nurse adjusted her for. The way she'd asked me to bring her the blue sweater because it matches your eyes. Every memory felt poison now, like someone had gone back in time and laced them with arsenic. I pulled over on a dirt road, punched the dashboard until my knuckles bled, screamed until my throat shredded. Then I opened the app again. The dot hadn't moved. They were still there. Together. I imagined them drinking coffee on his deck, her feet in his lap, talking about how close they'd come to getting caught. I imagined her telling him about the hospital, about me sleeping in the chair, about how easy it was to text Sarah's picking me up, because I'd believe anything if it came from her. When I got home the house felt too big, every corner echoing with her absence. I sat at the kitchen table where we'd eaten cereal at 2 a.m. after our daughter's first heartbreak, where we'd signed mortgage papers and danced to an old song on the radio. I opened my laptop, pulled up the shared location history, because of course I did, because love makes you insane, and watched the past 6 months unfold in blue breadcrumbs. Tuesdays at noon when she said she was at yoga, Mark's office downtown. Thursday nights when she claimed book club, the hotel by the airport. The night of our anniversary when she'd said she had a migraine and went to bed early. 1847 Lakeshore Drive again, from 7:12 p.m. to 3:47 a.m. Each dot was a knife, but the worst was the cluster from 2 weeks ago. 3 nights in a row while I was in Chicago for work, thinking she was binge-watching true crime alone. She wasn't alone. I poured a drink, then another. The whiskey tasted like regret. I thought about calling Mark, about driving back with a baseball bat, about torching every lie they'd built between them. But mostly I thought about Claire, the girl who'd cried at our wedding because she was afraid of letting me down, the woman who'd held our premature son in the NICU and promised him the world, the wife who'd looked me in the eye this morning and said, "Home by lunch." I wanted to hate her. God, I tried. But hate kept slipping into something softer, sadder. The realization that people don't cheat because they stop loving you. They cheat because some part of them believes they're already gone. At 12:03 p.m. my phone buzzed again. A photo. Claire in our driveway waving, hospital bag slung over her shoulder, smile bright as summer. "Home," the caption read, followed by 3 heart emojis. I stared at it until the screen went dark. The GPS dot was back in our garage. She'd showered, changed, rehearsed the lie. I heard the front door open, her voice calling my name like nothing had changed. "Honey, you here?" Footsteps on hardwood. The creak of the 3rd stair. I closed the laptop, wiped my face and stood up. She walked into the kitchen, hair damp, cheeks flushed, and for one terrible second I almost believed her. Then she hugged me and I smelled his cologne on her skin, the same one I'd given him for his birthday. I didn't confront her that day. Or the next. I waited until our daughter left for college, until the house was quiet enough to hear a heartbreak. Then I laid the printed location history on the table between us like evidence in a trial neither of us wanted to attend. She cried. I cried. She said it started as comfort when her dad died. Turned into something neither of them knew how to stop. She said she loved me but wasn't in love with me, whatever the hell that means. She said she was sorry 1,000 times, but sorry doesn't stitch a life back together. We divided the furniture, the photos, the dog. She kept the blue sweater. I kept the GPS app open for 1 more week, watching her settle into a new apartment across town, until I finally deleted it and felt the last thread snap. Some nights I still check my phone at 7:14 a.m., half expecting her name to light up the screen. It never does. The house is quieter now, the chairs evenly spaced, the coffee pot half empty. I learned that trust isn't a gift you give once. It's a garden you tend every day. And if you look away even for a season, someone else can plant weeds where roses used to grow. Claire wasn't a villain. She was human, terrified of aging, of invisibility, of the ordinary life we'd built. I wasn't blameless either. I'd stopped noticing the way her laugh changed when she was tired, stopped asking about her day beyond, "How was work?" We both let the space between us widen until someone else fit inside it. The last thing she said before she walked out with her suitcase was, "I hope someday you'll understand." I do understand. I understand that love can be a house you live in for years, and one morning you wake up to find the foundation cracked straight through the middle. I understand that GPS dots don't lie, but people do, and the hardest truth isn't that she left the hospital for him. It's that part of her never came home at all.